The number one regulation that the board sees violations of is 18 VAC 135-20-260, and the overall thing is unworthiness and incompetence. And that can cover, I'm sure you're aware, a lot of things. The main two issues that fall within the unworthiness and incompetence are point 10, which is failing to safeguard the interests of the public, and point 11, which is improper or fraudulent or dishonest conduct. And some of the things that the board has found people in violation of in the last several years falling into those two categories are: the broker failed to ensure that there was proper money in the escrow account. The broker failed to verify the escrow balances and failed to ensure that the employee used proper bookkeeping and accounting systems. And this, you'll notice, is going to be a big theme throughout today, is broker supervision. The broker failed to collect rental payments and inspect the property, which was required by the property management agreement. The broker failed to actively participate in the management of the firm, including the financial dealings and the escrow account. The broker failed to ensure that the salespersons working at their firm held an active license. The broker failed to adequately supervise the licensees that were working at his firm or her firm. The salesperson failed to ensure that the contract and the escrow money were given to their broker in a timely manner, because the regs do require that to be deposited within 5 days of contract ratification. The salesperson failed to submit listing agreements to the broker in a timely manner, so the broker had no idea that this property was for sale at their firm. The salesperson negotiated leases, collected rental security deposits, and received management fees for managing properties through an unlicensed firm without a principal broker. A lot of folks seem to think that as a salesperson they can just go out and do property management. If you're negotiating leases or anything that falls within the definition of a broker or salesperson, you have to have a license, and you have to have a firm license, which requires it to have a broker, and a salesperson can't do what a broker can do. A salesperson practicing with an inactive license. Then the licensee provided the broker with an earnest money deposit check from an account with insufficient funds, and they knew that at the time they gave it to their broker, which then causes escrow shortages. And that's some of the things that the board has found licensees to be in violation of, the failing to safeguard the interests of the public. The other big thing is the improper, fraudulent, or dishonest conduct, and some of the things that the board has found folks in violation of over the last couple of years are that the licensee attempted to divert the commission from the firm and pay an unlicensed individual. The licensee fabricated or altered documents and then gave them to the board to try and get themselves out of a potential violation. Of course, it came to the board's attention that these documents were altered. The licensee failed to obtain the client's permission or authorization to sign documents and then sign the documents without their client's knowledge. The licensee failed to report escrow shortages to the principal broker, who's again responsible for all of the escrow accounts. This was one of my favorite ones. The licensee submitted altered copies of the same earnest money deposit check for multiple offers. They had one, basically what it was, they had one check. They altered the check and used that one check on different contracts. So that's some of the stuff for those two violations. The next most prevalent violation deals with the maintenance and management of the escrow accounts, and that's cases where the money's not deposited within 5 days, which is required, or there's insufficient balances in the escrow account at the time that somebody tries to make a withdrawal from the escrow account. Then there's the 300 series of the regulations, which is the misrepresentation or omission. And the one we see, actually the two we see the most in that one is, which one is it? 9, knowingly making any material misrepresentation. And then, where's 300? You're failing to disclose, where's it? what is it?
Failing to disclose interest.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Failing to disclose interest in the property.
Failing to include the complete terms and conditions in a real estate.
Disclose interest in the property.
Yeah, having an interest in the transaction, failing to disclose to unrepresented parties, failing to disclose the period. We did every variation of that one.
Exactly. And then, again, your disclosure of interest. If you have an ownership interest in a piece of property that you're selling, or somebody in your family has an ownership interest, you need to disclose that as well. That's another one that we're seeing. And then within the statute, within the agency statute, which has been completely rewritten, not so much, no. 54-1, 2131A4, which is licensees engaged by the sellers in failing to exercise ordinary care. Then there's conflict of interest is the next one that we see violated, and then the licensees engaged by the buyer failing to exercise ordinary care. Those are the top 10 regulatory violations that the board's seen for the last 2 years. So again, these are your regs, know your regs, and hopefully I won't have to know what your name is.